Speaking. One second. So you're in plan.
I had all of this written down and it's filled with terrible jokes, so I've written more notes on the back which are more genuine, and I think it covers it better. So Felix told me about 2 hours ago about this prerequisite, and I was kind of catapulted into the chance of becoming DSU rep about a week ago, because no one was running for it, and Tom and Felix and William and Geroge came to me and said, would you do it? And I said, no. And then, but then Tom did a breakdown for me, and I run a little society called Big Talk. I hope it gets bigger soon. But Tom broke it down for me, saying it's a lot of big issues being discussed in a big group of people who are willing to listen. And I'm really into the idea of sitting down and having a good old discussion with people and respecting the ideas that people might have that are different to mine. I'm an atheist, I'm in St. John's College, and I love the discussions. I get deeply into it. I visited Story as often as I could. Sadly, that was only one lunchtime. But it's been a hellish week. I really do think that I'm going to be a good DurhamSU rep, because we're not De Montfort. I'm a presence in the college as well. I'm quite a big presence. I do a lot of stuff. I'm running for Big Cheese in Cheese Society as well. Thank you. So I will be around. I'm not living in, sadly. I was looking into living in, but it just isn't financially viable for me. But I will be living on Elbit Waterside, so very close to college, spending a lot of time in college, the darts, the pool, the Cheese Society, and Exec now. I'm clearly quite a friendly character. I hope you can see that. But yeah, I've sat on the SU committee in Johns as well, so I do know the workings of the SU. I know what I'm doing. I've been in school council, deputy head boy, stuff like that. I know it's a bit of a weak claim, but it does actually, if you think about it, it does actually prepare someone to sit on a council and talk about things and listen and be innovative with ideas, because my main thing is to make sure that I want to develop how people find out about what's going on in the Durham SU. So Geroge currently includes a little this week in the Durham SU, and I'm 95% sure that a really small amount of people read that. But the line in the dining hall being long, that is a pretty constant thing. So I was thinking, why not print off a little 3 bullet points. These are the 3 biggest things that are going to affect the most people here. Stick it on the door, have an email. Anyone wants to email me saying, let's talk about this, I want to get involved in the DSU more. DurhamSU, sorry. But yeah, I thought I'd stick that on the door because someone is going to turn their heads. Someone is going to look at it because they're bored. And that means one more person is interested in what's going on in the Durham SU. And that means a 100% increase in interest. Yeah, I'm here to be, I am ready to do the job. And also, I served tea and coffee at a parents' evening when I was 11. My teacher told me it would look good on my CV. So I thought I'd throw that in there, so thanks. Yeah, but that's that. Please vote for me. I will do a better job than Ron. Yeah, if no one else wants it, then I'm happy to fill that. William is also a fantastic DSU rep, DurhamSU rep, and I really want to work closely with him because I'm already working with him in the SU committee, and he's fantastic. He's really revolutionised what it means to be the DurhamSU rep in Johns, and he does a good job. And I feel like that means that I can learn from him a lot and continue to make it a worthwhile position on the exec. Thanks.
Right then, any questions for the candidates? Let's go. Yes.
Obviously, this week has been framed by the student officer elections in the SU. I just want to ask you, what are your ideas for helping to improve voter participation in SU matters like this within John's?
It's a good question because it's a challenging question, and that's one of the big things. Is I hope that through engaging students throughout the year more, that the numbers will naturally increase. It's not about attacking each issue individually. It's about a great phrase used earlier by the comms candidates, a holistic approach to the improvement of the role as a whole. I know it sounds a bit fluffy as an answer, but if you think about it, it does have genuine grounding in the fact that I want to progress the role so that I can access more people, so that then they're thinking about the DSU, DurhamSU, so when they see elections, and I say elections, and we say elections coming up on this week, the little poster is going to be on the door, there's a chance that a few more people are going to get involved. I was going to talk to William about this though, because he's been sitting in the dining hall, and it caught my eye, and I don't even live in. I was walking past, it caught my eye, and that in itself, I'm sure, has increased voter response to these elections, and I want to do that. I also think a poster would work well. Sorry to kind of jibe your attack at voter participation, but I want to get a big poster, get it really, really obvious, and get people to be engaged in that way. Because if I can get someone to come over and just say, even like, here's my login details, you do it for me. Like, I'll sit there and I'll do it. I'll get up. Because I am impartial. I don't actually. I have campaigned with my political party, but it doesn't matter to me too much. As long as I get the voters in to do that, then I'll do whatever. I don't. It's a good question because I don't necessarily have a direct answer to that particular problem, except for the very kind of wafty answers that I've given. So sorry about the poor answer, but I will be working closely with William to discover a better way of doing that. And I do think that engaging people with the DurhamSU will increase voter participation anyway.
Yeah, I imagine the senior returning officer of the SU just shat themselves. So Tom?
What do you think is the main or major issues that the DurhamSU is tackling
right now? Is the thing that's hit home with me at part of the committee finding out about the motions is the insecurity of our Wednesday afternoons, because there is currently we're discussing investigating like the need for it and stuff, and the fact that Durham, the university could think that it's unnecessary when there's so many people clearly benefiting from it, and they want to investigate it. It could be this like, oh, we just want to make sure that it's all right. We want to make sure that that's definitely a good thing to have. But I don't like the insecurity of a lot of the things that we've become fond of, like the Wednesday afternoons, and therefore that for me is a big issue. The fact that that's being questioned, because it so clearly brings so much to so many people. Another one is the question of investigating the mental health issues surrounding the week 5 blues of Epiphany term. So they're looking into. There was a motion recently to look into perhaps investigating the problems surrounding not having a reading week, and surrounding having and the benefits that a reading week could have for certain subjects. And I thought that was a big issue because that's going to drastically change the way the university works, and we need to make sure we're on the front line as the DurhamSU, controlling that. That should not be a university thing to control. They should not have just this ultimate power over our time. And I think as a DurhamSU, we can push to have that sort of frontline action. but I don't think that push is being made. I don't think enough people are behind the Durham SU at the moment. And I think when these big issues hit, the Durham SU gets blamed for not protecting the students. But the students aren't participating enough to actually give the Durham SU enough power to get there and say, look, we're standing against you. So I think those are the big issues, and the way I tackle them is basically not fear-mongering, but fear-mongering. And making everyone realise that if they don't get behind the Durham SU fast, everything's going to go south. It will, very quickly.
So that's all we've got time for in terms of questions, unless anyone wants to extend it at all. Is there such a motion? Yes, there is. How long would you like to extend it by?
Probably just a couple of minutes.
Okay, can we have a seconder for that quickly? Okay, yes. Okay, yep. So, any more questions then? I'm assuming Will probably has one. Yeah, there we go.
Can you name a thing that the Durham SU does well and a thing you think it could do better?
Sorry?
Can you name a thing that the Durham SU currently does well and a thing you think it can do better?
Yeah, I can. Would you like me to? Yes, that's a good question. What it does well is it runs itself very well. It contains itself brilliantly. The actual systems in place of the Durham SU work. The actual way that things happen, so the motions and the discussions and the elections themselves, they work because our Durham, and you can see that just because the Durham SU is still standing, is still strong. The thing it needs to do better is it needs to expand. It needs to expand that out from just itself. It needs to work all throughout the university. At the moment, it's a little bulb with a few roots growing off of it, but it needs to be a beautiful onion. See, I'm approachable. I really just think it needs to extend its influence, and not actually its influence. It needs to extend what it's doing and the ideas that it stands for. It needs to be known further than just within the group of people who enjoy going, who go to Durham SU meetings, and the people who are required to go to the Durham SU meetings. I think it needs to expand to incorporate people who wouldn't necessarily, not incorporate, but get people involved who wouldn't necessarily think to get involved in student politics, just because, and that's the main problem. And obviously that's a bit of a fallback answer, because anyone could say that. I would counter my own counter there by saying, actually, the fact that anyone could say that is a massive issue. It's a massive issue that it's kind of well known that the Durham SU is a bit of a joke at the moment. Not much stuff goes on that anyone knows about. And I really want that to change, because it's such a good idea to have a students' union. That's a brilliant idea, but we're not actually using it to the power that we've got. We've got 16,000 greater than students here, and such a tiny portion of them are getting involved. Even an increase of 100 students means 100 more names on the petition. Like, it's not difficult to expand slightly, to get a small number of people to increase. And if we just keep incrementally increasing the Durham SU's reach and influence, then we might one day in future get a stronger SU. Because the SU is strong at the moment, but it's not as strong as it needs to be in order to actually tackle the issues that are looming in the future. I don't promise. I make no promises now to expand it hugely. I'm not going to be the guy that gets in 15,000 voters. That's impossible. And if it is possible, then by all means vote that man in, or in between. So whatever. but I know that I can increase the reach as much as I can.
Okay, right, so that's all we have time for.
I'm sorry for the long.
That's fine. So next up is Services and Estates Manager at Aisha and Trina.
Yeah, it's stakes for Alex, so they had also Nick on the street, the one I went out to during next year.
Ah, right, that means my birthday contribution the other day. So,
Yeah, fine.
so further additional constitutional funds. So this is another one which requires livers in as a prerequisite. You, right, so Katrina is not living in next year, so as per usual, the chair will look favourably upon a motion to suspend the requirements for candidature. Is there such a motion from the floor? Carl is proposing. Can I have a seconder? Ed Upson, excellent. Is there any opposition to this motion? None. Can I take the motion on the general aye?
Aye.
Your enthusiasm is really slipping through this room, isn't it? Right. So first person to hust will be Katrina. So